have on your team and the abilities that you have, and we will now see what they have because we have just got into the picks and ban phase, guys. Penguins have the first ban and will have the first pick as well, so it's going to be Penguins on your left, Manchester Zero on your right. Straight away, Lulu and Yasuo have been banned out. Lulu's a champion I actually wanted to talk about previously. I slipped my mind. She's been so dominant in the mid lane at the moment. We've seen her to counter to a lot of these mid champions that have been coming in to the Yasuo, to Gragas, to Zed. She's very strong, to LeBlanc even, yeah. Gragas as well. This is all around the mid lane at the moment, these bans are. So we thought there'd be a lot of jungle bans, but obviously because of the jungler being subbed out of Manchester Penguins and because of how good Mr. TD is in mid, as well as the mid on Manchester Penguins side, obviously, there's already been 3 champions took away from their pool.
Yeah, very interesting bans, and that's a Kassadin as well, 4th mid-orientated ban. It's going to be interesting to see what they actually pick. We do see that Lee Sin ban that we discussed out
there's
at
Trust
the Student. Obviously, very, very, very good Lee Sin player. But we do see a 5th mid lane ban.
6 as well, wow.
So what picks are we even going to see coming out of the mid lane with these bans?
I'm really excited now. Zed and Nidalee are open, and so's LeBlanc. They're really the main 3 that I can think of that are actually like in the Flavor of the Month pool at the moment. Other than them 3, I don't know. You know, we may see some really strange things come out. I know we've seen some Victors, we've seen some very strange champions.
I'm calling it.
I wouldn't be surprised to see a Kayle either, to be honest. We are seeing Hennes hovering over the Morgana here. Now, that could be a mid or it could be a support as well. So we'll have to see how that goes. But that is Morgana first pick locked in for Manchester Penguins, which I'm quite surprised at. To be honest, they haven't picked the Thresh, they haven't picked the Leona. You know, they've gone straight for the Morgana. So, that's, you know, we'll have to see how that actually pans out. I'm quite surprised to see that first locked in so fast, to be honest.
Yeah, in one of the games previously, someone picked. It was a promotion game. I can't remember who was playing actually, but someone picked a Morgana first pick as support, and at the time I sort of reprimanded it. We actually see a Karma locked in. I did actually reprimand the Morgana first pick. Obviously, I feel it's more of a counter pick, but the thing with it is, almost every support currently is CC reliant, and when you're first picking a counter pick to every possible pick, you can't really go wrong with that, if you see what I mean. And it stops them picking that counter pick to whatever you pick.
Yeah, but do you know what support isn't just solely dependent on CC much? Karma. Guess what Manchester Zero just locked in, my friend? Karma is locked in from Manchester Zero, and over as well as the Caitlyn AD carry. Caitlyn, we've seen a very, very consistently strong AD carry. She has great range, great damage. She's very good in lane just because of her range and her poke potential. And over on Manchester Penguins side, their reaction to that, they've locked in the Jinx, and they've also locked in the Elise. Elise is a very, very strong jungler. So we've seen that being played a lot. That's been locked in, and we're having now a Tristana and a Vel'Koz hovered over here right now. Like, I don't understand the mixture there. Vel'Koz is changed to Wukong, and we maybe seen a Tristana mid.
Yeah, I was very interested. I was definitely not expecting those both to be locked in, but it looks like the Tristana maybe mid. Actually going to swap to a Syndra at the last second, and a Cho'Gath. Cho'Gath jungle, I actually really like Cho'Gath jungle. It's very skill shot dependent, obviously, but so far, none of the 3 picks for Penguins have any mobility to dodge the Rupture with. Obviously, Elise has the Repel, but other than that, no actual easy-to-use mobility moves, like, for example, Lee Sin's dash, that kind of thing. So, Cho'Gath actually quite a solid pick.
Yeah, definitely, especially against an AD carry like Jinx, who doesn't have any escapes, really. Mr. TD locking in his Syndra, we know how good he can be on that Syndra. I'd expect either like a Nidalee or a Zed or a LeBlanc to go up against that. We are having the Zed hovered over. Just the Student on Cho'Gath, I don't know, I think I've seen him on it once before. So I wouldn't be surprised if he does really well on it. I know that we've seen him on the Wukong, we've seen him on the Nocturnes previously as well, but it's choosing that Cho'Gath. And the team composition so far from Manchester Zero is looking quite strange, but also quite good. With the Karma support, you've got the Syndra mid and the Cho'Gath jungle. I'm really excited to see this team comp. The last 2 picks have been selected and locked in for Penguins. You've had the Zed locked in as well as the Shyvana, which is possibly going to be in the well, it should be in the top lane, I'd imagine. I wouldn't expect it to be jungle at least top, although that's not completely out of the question. But I'd expect the Shyvana to be going top lane, and now we will be having Manchester Zero select their top laner for the last pick.
Yeah, and I'm quite interested by this Zed pick in the mid. Obviously, Zed's such a strong assassin champion, but he's against another really strong assassin. So, this mid lane is either going to be completely volatile and just filled with 1v1s and jungle ganks, or they're going to roam like crazy, and I mean like crazy. So, Massacrism is going to have a really hard time in this early lane phase. He's got melee auto attacks, so it's going to be hard for him to last hit without just taking chunks of damage from Mr. TD. Obviously, having so much harass with all of his abilities, plus his ranged auto attacks, Mr. TD is going to have a pretty cushy laning phase, really, up to level 6, but then when it gets level 6, it's going to be explosive.
Oh yeah, definitely. And guys, you can tweet using the hashtag NUEL to discuss these games and everything. We'll be looking and reading some of them out and answering any questions that you guys might have as well. So if you're on Twitter, get tweeting with that. We will be getting into this game shortly. Renekton is last picked as the top laner. Shyvana Renekton seems to be the matchup in top that we're seeing in about 80% of games. As long as they're not banned away, they still seem to be the two go-to top laners. Who do you feel has the edge in that top lane, or do you think top lane's a strange one to talk about because it's very back and forth? I know the Renekton is very strong because he has his self-sustain, and I feel Shyvana's an okay opponent because she also has a bit of sustain. She's got her escapes and that, so I don't think we'll be seeing much action there. Syndra versus Zed in mid. Let's talk a little bit about that matchup. Who do you feel has the benefit here?
Well, I do actually quickly want to talk a little bit about that top lane. I mean, the Renekton Shyvana, you do see you see Shyvana picked into that Renekton a lot, but it's a really, really, really hard lane for Shyvana, especially early game. Before they get the ultimates, Renekton, if he plays it well, can absolutely dominate Shyvana. The level 4 damage coming out of Renekton is Shyvana just cannot trade with it. If Renekton picks the right fights, you can zone out so hard. So it's actually a really hard lane to begin with for the Shyvana. The only reason it's picked is because Shyvana obviously is able to just stay in that lane and keep on pushing out the waves with her burnout. Yeah. However, like you were talking about, in the mid lane, like I said earlier, Massacrism going to have a really, really hard time in these early levels. He's going to get taking a lot of harass from Mr. TD, and if Mr. TD can play it well, if he can get level 6 before Massacrism, he can almost definitely at least force Massacrism out of lane before he gets his ultimate to fight back. And if that is the case, Mr. TD can get a really nice experience advantage.
Yeah, that's the main thing in these solo lanes. In this, well, pretty much in all of the lanes, the level advantage. We see a lot of people now shove out the lane, especially in bot, to try and get the level advantage. And in the bottom lane, when the first pair hits level 2, you normally see them go for a kill. I don't think we'll be seeing necessarily that much now because both of these lanes aren't super aggressive. You've got a Caitlyn Karma support who are going to have amazing poke and just harass from range. I think they'll really be trying to focus that, trying to force Duxburg and Henners, to not be able to CS as much, try and force them a little bit out of lane. Whereas Duxburg and Henners, if they land a binding, they can get a lot of damage down. But as we've said, Caitlyn and Karma have a lot of range. They should be in a position where they can, try and dodge the binding, not be in a situation where it should be really easy for them to get bound by that. How do you feel about this bot lane? As we've already discussed, Jinx doesn't really have much mobility, so if Cho'Gath can get a really nice gank down as well, that could possibly be quite devastating for Manchester Penguins.
Yeah, you say that we're not going to see much at level 2, but I'd have to disagree. If Seal and Rob Ronnie want to, they could be so aggressive with this comp. They have so much long range poke, and at level 1, on level 2 really, Morgana doesn't have much to offer. Obviously the Black Shield, but it only blocks magic damage, so it's going to be essentially useless versus Caitlyn unless you're going to use it to eat a trap. And Jinx doesn't really pick up until the later levels. The only reason she's sort of viable, I mean, in this sort of level 2 fight meta that we have in the bot lane, the only reason Jinx can sort of survive that is the range at which she can farm and stay safe. So she doesn't particularly want those level 2 fights. But with the massive range and the amount of damage coming out from Karma at level 2, I feel like Seal and Rob Ronnie want to go for this fight in the bot lane.
When I said there won't be a big engage, I meant like literally. I already said they will be poking and they'll be trying to look for positions where they can kill, but not the same as say a Leona or a Thresh, where level 2 you go all in, dependent on as soon as you hit that level 2, that'd be it. It's not going to be that sort of hard engage straight away at level 2. I feel because as you said, they're going to be a lot more dependent on the poke, a lot more dependent on trying to force them out of lane or get them weak enough so if they do stay, they can get the kill. I agree with you there, but I don't think it's going to be as hard of an engage as you would have with like the Thresh, the Leona, or anything like that.
No, certainly not. No, but I'm very interested to see how they do play out this lane. The Karma is, I find, one of the funnest champions to watch because there's so many different styles that you can play it in, and it's such a versatile champion. You can use it for peel, you can use it for engage, you can use it. You've got the CC, but you've also got a soft CC and you're slow, but you've also got a speed up for your team, you've got a shield. There's so much you can do with that champion and so many different ways that you can use that kit. I feel like every time you see a Karma, it's going to be played differently to the last time you saw it.
Yeah, definitely, and that's what I love personally about Karma. I really enjoy playing her sport just because of how versatile she is, especially with her mantra, and with her ultimate as well. She can, she can mantra her shield and give her whole team a massive speed boost and shields. She can get down a better stun. She can get some more life still for herself, or she can do the pure damage and mantra Q, and get the slows down. She has so much versatility in what she can do that she is a great all-around pick, and especially against the Morgana, as you said, who can be a counter to most support picks. So really nice pick there. I feel the Cho'Gath was a really nice pick as well. Normally, I wouldn't really rank Cho'Gath in the jungle consistently high, but against the team comp that Manchester Penguins are running, I really do like that pick, and as well as the Syndra as well. If we talk about level 1s now, you wanted to talk about level 1s a little bit at the start. We've gone through Champion Select now, the teams have locked in their picks. How do you think we'll be seeing a level 1 here, and if we do, who do you think will have the better level 1 out of these two teams?
Honestly, no. I wish I could say we are going to see a level 1, but looking at the comps, there's not. I mean, we've got the Morgana binding, we've got Jinx Zap, and we've got the Cocoon. However, Morgana's the only one that actually wants to go with that ability at level 1. So, unless they get something out of the engage, out of the level 1 invade, they essentially forfeit part of their early game. It's going to slow Elise's jungle clear down. It's going to mean that Jinx actually sometimes does like going Zap first anyway, so that's not too detrimental, but the key thing would be it would slow down that jungle clear from Elise. However, looking at the other side, we've got the Rupture on Cho'Gath. He usually likes to go Vorpal Spikes first. Obviously gives him that extra jungle clear to begin with. But other than that, really, there's no CC that they could go for. I mean, Karma, you could go for the bind and you can get the slow on the Q, but really there's not. If I was running that team, I definitely wouldn't want to be going for a level 1.
Yeah, no, exactly for the reason you said. There is a lack of CC. That's why Syndra's going to have to get some really nice stuns down. And we know Mr. TD loves his Syndra. He plays Syndra quite a lot, so we know that he is capable of doing that. We are getting into the game now, and we'll just move around the bottom characters to make sure they're all in order for you guys. Don't see any strange business here in terms of the items. Karma has picked up this Spell Thief's Edge, which is going to give her a little bit more ability power in lane, as well as the mana and gold regen. So she's going to get 2 gold per second, she's going to get some mana regen, which is going to help her poke more, whereas Morgana's just gone for this Door and Shield start to try and be a little bit more tanky. And honestly, I feel the Door and Shield's the right pick to go against a Karma Caitlyn, just because we said how much poke damage there is there, so she does need that little bit of extra health and a little bit of extra armor as well. The health regen. But would you agree with that? Do you say fairly standard items here?
Yeah, definitely. I really agree with the Morgana Door Shield pick. However, it just really goes to show how strong of a lane they have picked. They've forced Morgana to get actually really nice mantra going off there, getting a bit of damage down on that level 1. But I really like that this forces Morgana to go with that defensive Door and Shield. She's not going to be able to get the gold item first, but Karma has gone, obviously, for that gold item. A nice binding over the wall there, actually, catching Rob running out. But because he's gone for that early gold item, so long as they don't die, basically, in the lane, they're going to start getting that gold advantage.
Yeah, both the teams here Just sort of doing a little bit of harass each other. They're not going for any hard engage, but they're letting each other know that they do have vision and that they are there. So we are seeing Manchester Zero start this blue buff down at the top lane. There is a bit of a trade going on at the top actually, but just going to walk away from that. There's a lot of members going around giving a leash to Cho'Gath. They're starting their blue buff, and Elise is starting their bottom buff as well. So could possibly see some early ganks go down towards this top and mid lane.
Yeah, we may well see a 2v2 in this top lane when we do see them heading up. Obviously, Elise going to have a slightly faster jungle clear than Cho'Gath, but Just the Student, such an aggressive player. Actually, we're having a bit of laughter spam from Zed coming out here. Massacrism feeling confident in this lane so far, but we'll have to see what Mr. TD can do about that. The binding actually coming out from Henry's not quite going to land though.
Yeah, when that binding's missed, that gives Manchester Zero a really great time to try and get some damage down. But unfortunately, Karma did miss her Q, and they're just going to be trading a little bit of damage there as well. And now that the Q is off cooldown from Morgana, they're going to have to play a bit safer. But that is going to be the gap they're looking for. As soon as Morgana misses her binding, that is the opening that Zero wants.
Yeah, and because they've hit level 2 first, Karma has that shit. Oh my god, the mantra damage coming down. Henna's getting so low here. Seal trying to finish that off the caliber net, not quite going to land though. And so close. Henna's only just getting out of that one alive.
Yeah, that was a really nice Q from the Karma. The slow hit, the net just missed. To be honest, I don't think it would have been enough to kill her. I think she would have just been alive still. But it was really nice damage coming down, and that already puts Penguins in a position they don't want to be in.
Yeah, Massacrism in a really bad spot now. The Ignite is ticking down. Mr. TD flashing to chase that kill out, and Mr. TD actually maybe going to be able to get away with this one. Does walk away. The red buff not quite enough, and that is a 1-for-0 in the mid lane.
Yeah, my camera missed that, unfortunately. Sorry about that one, but it was a really nice pickup there. 4-0, and that's going to help this Syndra so much. And now bot lane's going aggressive, but going to back away again.
Yeah, we do actually see Elise heading on down there. Cool Kev is coming in for the gank in the bot lane, and this could be really bad for Manchester Zero. I don't know if they know about this. There isn't a ward there. Cool Kev is going to come around, and if Henna's can land a good bind here, this is almost definitely a kill. This bind is just so potent, but having to use the Black Shield defensively there, it may actually deter the gank. But we do see a pause coming in. But take a look at the minimap. Cho'Gath is coming. Just the Student is coming for the counter gank. Even though there's no wards, I think they perhaps at least suspected that he was coming down. So this is going to be a 3v3 in the bot lane. Cho'Gath arriving slightly late, so we'll have to see if they can get anything. If the cocoon, if Cool Kelv can throw a cocoon over this wall here that I'm pointing at with my mouse. I don't know if my mouse is actually visible. I can't ping on the map or anything. Over that wall that's at the top of the screen, if you can throw the cocoon over there, land it on Seal, they have a very good chance of following that up with a binding and quite possibly a kill.
Yeah, they are a bit extended. The Karma Shield will give the speed boost. She has the Night Caliber net available, so she could possibly get away. There's the net. There's the slow from Karma, so that will be enough to keep her back. Really nice reactions from Zero there. But here's Cho'Gath.
Really nice disengage, but actually Cho'Gath coming in. The really nice long-range binding, but Cool Kelv actually having to flash the Rupture there, and the ward going over it is not actually in the brush, but now Just the Student going really aggressive here. But I believe they are going to decide to back off, but they're going to get a chunk of damage down onto this tower now. Seal in a really good position to get poking away. Actually takes a tower shot, but just the damage coming out from this comp is so strong right now.
Yeah, Robroni and Seal doing so much damage over that wall, and Jinx was very low, so she had to be careful there. But she is going to still be able to stay alive in CS with them rockets. Elise is just going to go and take her golems, and she is still hovering around this bot lane because of how weak Duxburg is. There's another Q hitting Dux, but he is so low now. Elise is here, and Zero needs to be careful because if they go in for this kill,
such a good play in the mid lane there. Massacrism managing to dodge Mr. TD's with his Living Shadow, but now Just the Student is coming in. He's chasing along here. I don't know if he's going to be able to get onto Massacrism here. Throws out the silence. Don't know if he can land the Rupture. Massacrism managing to just step that back, and he's going to be able to walk away from this engage. Yeah, I say that. He's still being chased actually.
Down there, but he is going to walk away. Now Shyvana's trading gets for next time.
Yeah, Shyvana is actually went really hard on Pure Havoc. My camera didn't actually go to that one, but the Ignite did go down, but Pure Havoc able to get away on about 120 HP there.
Yeah, Cho'Gath is waiting in this wing though, so if they go in back in for the kill, there's the flash, and now we may see a turnaround here.
Yeah, Go Fish actually really low as well though, and he's on the wrong side of Cho'Gath right now. uses the ultimate to try and get away. The flash rupture though, gonna manage to land. The red buff is ticking, and that is going to be a counter kill for Just the Student.
And while
in
that
the meantime,
happened, Zed threw down his shurikens and got a really nice living shadow behind Syndra and just managed to finish off a kill there. So that's a kill picked up for Penguins and a kill picked up for Zero in a 1-for-1 trade. And we're seeing a 700 gold difference right now. That's mainly in the CS. This mid and this bot lane are both really in favour of Zero right now. But with Zed just getting that kill on Syndra, this will allow him to push up the CS, make Syndra lose some and be able to catch up there. But Caitlyn and Karma working really hard in this bot lane to keep ahead in this advantage with their range and their poke.
Yeah, and that's exactly what they need to be doing. They need to be abusing the ranged advantage that they do have and keeping Hennas and Duxbug away from this farm. Like, for example, now, if they can stop him getting that cannon minion, they unfortunately couldn't, but one trick that you do see quite a lot of bot laners doing against Jinx, if you can zone her, she'll use the zap to try and get those cannon minions, but a lot of people will just body block the cannon minion from the zap and stop Jinx getting those CS.
Yeah, Syndra now has picked up her Chalice of Harmony just for the mana regen, and she's not going to be building into any more MR because she's laning against her Zed, so she's picking up the 2 cloth armors, building into the Zhonya's there, possibly going to pick up the Seeker's Arm Guard. In this bot lane, both of them have already picked up their Vampiric Scepter, so not quite enough gold to start a BF sword, but they're going to get that extra lifesteal, which is going to help them sustain a little bit more in lane, which, to be honest, Jinx is needing with this poke coming down from Caitlyn at the moment.
Yeah, definitely, and the Vamp Scepter being such a good early item. If you are being poked a lot, just having that extra lifesteal, having that sustain in the lane, is just going to help out so much. And just getting chunked by Karma, this is the damage that I was talking about. And look at the versatility. Seal is there taking a tower shot, Karma's there doing damage and shielding his AD carry at the same time. It's like having a mix of Janna and Sona.
Yes, definitely. And in this top lane, we see Renekton and Shyvana still trading. Renekton started the Giant's bout, whereas Shyvana's picked up the Chainmail, so she's got a little bit more armor, but Renekton has got the extra HP. Massacrism doing a really good job now at keeping Mr. TD under his tower, and to be honest, he's getting to the point where he can out-trade her, but she needs to be careful.
Yeah, and we do actually see a binding landing down in this bot lane on Rob Ronnie, but unfortunately Coolkev wasn't quite close enough to follow up on that. Does actually walk into a trap and gets caught by the Karma Mantra there, doing a lot of damage. And now Rob Ronnie looking to turn this one around. He's going in, gets the movement speed, gets the snare down onto Duxbug. He's going to be able to outrange it though, and now Rob Ronnie taking a load of damage. Jinx not quite level 6 yet though. Had he been level 6, that may well have been a kill.
Yeah, that was very deep by Rob Ronnie there. Nice attempt to get the kill, but unfortunately just a little bit too less. But the binding lands on Caitlyn.
Seal actually in a really bad situation. Mr. TD also getting aggressed upon in the mid lane. Mr. TD is going to go down. Seal now getting really, really low. The Venomous Bite not quite off cooldown. And Duxbug flashing for the kill, but he's not going to be able to get it. The binding does go down though, but now Duxbug managing to tank that Mantra with his barrier. Really well played by Duxbug there. And that is going to be a 1 kill for... 2 kills actually in the favour of Penguins.
Yeah, 2 kills picked up for Penguins, which just more or less evens the gold out. And very unfortunate for Duxbug, he flashed onto a trap there, so he did stay in place when he flashed, but the binding landed, and that was enough to pick up the kill on Rob Roney. But Seal did manage just to escape, so really nice play from Penguins there. And that came down a little bit to the fact that Elise is staying around this bot lane and really adding a lot of pressure here. Cho'Gath's sort of wandering around trying to help where he can, farming up a little bit. So he is ahead of farm of Elise, but Elise is really concentrating on this bot lane. And now we see Jinx has got the kill. She's sitting on just over 1,000 gold. She picks herself up another Doran's Blade actually here. And she's still sitting on 900 gold, so possibly is picking up some boots and then next back. In fact, actually, she's going to keep that gold, so it looks like she's going to skip her boots for now. She wants to go for this BF sword match.
Yeah, and the BF sword being such a massive advantage in lane, actually. Both AD carries still sort of saving up for that BF sword currently. Seal is back in lane on full HP, but wanting to wait out and get that BF sword as Jinx is as well. But actually, between the AD carries, the gold is almost exactly even. Jinx does have that kill, but with 20 CS ahead on the Caitlyn, so they're both wanting to get that early advantage, but because both of them are going for it, it means that neither of them is going to get it necessarily much earlier than the other.
Yeah, to be honest, the gold's pretty much even in every lane. There's like a 100 gold difference in some of the lanes, but there's no massive advantage in a single lane that there isn't elsewhere. Syndra has picked up a Seeker's Arm Guard and a last back, which is going to help her a little bit to not take as much damage from the shurikens and that she was getting before, where she had to just sit under a tower and try and farm. and that'll give her a little bit more freedom there. Whereas Zed's just finished his bilge water, which is going to help him try and finish off these kills as well. But even though Duxbug's picked up that kill, he's got the item, we still see how aggressive Robroni and Seal is being here. And Duxbug half health just from a few spells from the Karma Caitlyn combo.
Yeah, and this is the thing as well. The difference is, Seal and Karma can just constantly keep on poking. A lot of the poke is going to come out of Caitlyn's auto attack, so there's no cooldown, and the Karma Q is a really, really short cooldown. However, Henna's and Duxbug, all of their poke is sort of on cooldowns. Obviously, Duxbug does have the rocket auto attacks, but they cost mana, and he has the zap, but that's a long cooldown. And Morgana, all she has is the bind, which is a very long cooldown. So the second that bind is on cooldown, Seal and Robroni can just trade as much as they want.
Yeah, but Elise is coming down now, and they may get a really nice position. There's the cocoon.
Oh, we get the flash binding coming out from Hennis as well. The Duxbug just throwing out the ultimate to finish that off, and that is a perfectly executed kill onto Seal.
And that has been, that's the third or fourth time that I've noticed that Manchester Zero just aren't having the ward control in that bot lane. That's mainly due to the fact that Karma's rushed this Frostfang. She hasn't got a Sightstone yet. She's got the ward trinket, but it doesn't last too long. It lasts 60 seconds, so she's got the ward in Tribush, but at least very smartly she came down river past Dragon, just got that cocoon on Caitlyn, and Duxbug, because he was already weak from the poke, he didn't even have to be near that. He just shot his Super Mega Death Rocket, picked up that kill. Really great rotations from Elise, and really nice play by Manchester Penguins to be picking up these kills in bot lane. Zero really need to be more careful and get some more wards down in this bot lane.
Yeah, and it's like you were saying, because they don't have those wards, it means that when they're playing this aggressive style that they are playing with the Karma Caitlyn, the kind of style that you almost have to play with that lane, you need to have those wards or you are going to get ganked. And now Massacrism actually in a really bad spot here. He's got his Living Shadow available, does actually use the ultimate onto Mr. TD, uses the Living Shadow to get away from the Rupture, now jumping back in, but it's not going to be enough. Mr. TD picking up that kill with his ultimate, and now Hennas, he came in to try and help out, but actually might have put himself in a bad position. Wow. The exhaust coming down onto Duxbug, Robroni going for the 1v1 against the AD carry here, and Karma just does so much damage. He's able to keep chasing this, gets the movement speed on himself with the shield, and now the stun coming out onto Trust the Student, followed by that binding the Ignite stick, and that is going to be him going down to Hennas. So really nice play.
Yeah, Druss carried on chasing the Morgana when Syndra and Cho'Gath had him in the middle. So when he chased through the jungle, that just allowed the Elise to come and help support Siobhan, and suddenly it's a 2v1. So a little bit of a misplay there from Druss, manages to pick up a kill onto the Penguins. But also, we just saw how much damage this Karma's going, and that is because she started this Frostfang. So as we said, it doesn't help her in the fact that they don't have wards there, and because, as you said, they're being aggressive naturally. We know Elise is focusing this bot lane, so you do need these wards there. However, she is doing so much damage, she's getting a lot of mana regen, so you can spam her abilities more, and it is helping her, but Elise is now coming to try and get a kill.
Yeah, and Jinx actually in that fight only just got away from the Karma. He managed to escape on 40 HP there, so that would have been one more auto attack from Karma, he would have gone down. But it looks like Manchester Penguins are looking to start off this Dragon. They do throw down the pink ward, going to get rid of any wards that Zero might have. And I don't know if there's really anything Zero can do about this. The jungler is nowhere near. Robroni and Seal are coming down, but we have it Smite available, and actually Robroni just taking a chunk of damage here. The Super Mega Death Rocket coming in across the map again. That's the second time he's done that. Picks up a kill and secures the Dragon for the Penguins. Yeah,
and again, that was just a lack of wards. Two people were there, Zed was coming down, and when you have a Jinx with a global ultimate, that's practically a 4v2 or a 3.5v2, so they shouldn't really have blind checked that, and that will be a Dragon pickup as well as a kill pickup for Penguins.
Yeah, and it looks like they might be able to steal this blue buff as well. They're definitely trying. The Morgana ultimate is coming down, the Rupture goes down. Calibanet able to get away from the stun on that. Now the Flame Chomp has gone down, but they didn't quite manage to land. Just the Student trying to keep this blue team away. He does manage to get the Rupture, but now Seal getting dived upon by Cool Kelv, but he had the barrier available. Cool Kelv taking a bunch of tower shots here, but now Duxbug trying to get that zap in over, but it's not going to manage to land. Now, the Rupture coming across, actually no, Rupture not come across yet, that was the silence, but it's not going to be enough, and they're going to be able to, Penguins, I believe, going to be able to walk away from this one. Karma actually still chasing though. This is such an extended fight, but I don't think anyone's going to be able to die from this one.
Yeah, they're really trying to pick up some kills where they can, but they're not. And now because Cho'Gath and Karma, Kate are all sitting in this middle, Jinx and Morgana are just going to push up bot lane, which is going to be massive. But now we've got a little bit of a standoff between the Morgana and the Karma here.
Yeah, we do have a bit of a support off going on. Both of them just shielding up and throwing out those
who's
auto
got the best
attacks,
shields?
but unfortunately, neither of them really having enough damage to get anything out of that trade.
Yeah, so just going to return to lanes now. Caitlyn and Karma are just going to push this back. We do see that Duxburg is going to be recalling now. He's sitting on 1200 gold, so we'll have to see what he picks up there. Both of the AD carries have got the BF sword now. That is enough to finish the Bloodthirster, so now that Duxburg's got his Bloodthirster as well as the double Dorans, this is the time where he's going to be wanting to go aggressive because he has such a big damage spike now, and Elise is coming to this top lane.
Yeah, we do have a gang coming in the top lane. Cool Kelv is trying to see what he can do, but unfortunately, not very much mana, and both of them really low. They don't actually want a 2v1 Renekton right now. They need to wait for his Dominus to finish, but once that ultimate's down, they may actually turn around and go for another engage.
Yeah, very possible. Shyvana's ultimate is still up, so we will have to see. However, I think Renekton will be quite safe under this tower because of his sustain. Duxburg's still getting very aggressed upon in bot lane though.
Yeah, Duxburg taking chunks of damage. The ace in the hole actually coming out as well. Duxburg only on 300 HP there. Seal just managing to dodge that zap, managing to dodge the binding as well. So really nice mechanics there by Seal to just weave in and out of those skill shots, but unfortunately not able to grab that kill on Duxburg. It was a very good attempt though.
Yeah, Hennes did try and block that ace in the hole, but Duxburg walked back a little bit to try and get the CS and did end up taking it. The zap is doing a lot of damage onto Karma though. She's finished the Sightstone, so she's got a little bit of HP, but there's not much defense on her side. Whereas if we look at the Morgana, she's got the Sightstone, she's got the Doran shield still as well, and she's picked up a Nomad's Medallion to help her have this regen, but also that's going to go really great when she gets the speed boost. Duxburg's so weak here, he really needs to be careful.
Yeah, this is really dangerous, especially against this lane. Obviously, the Piltover does actually manage to land. If Seal can get one more auto attack, Jinx is dead. So Jinx definitely has to go back right now. He's headed off over to the Golems. Yeah, he's going to lifesteal off the Golems. But the thing is with the Golems, they do quite a lot of damage, so you can't necessarily get too much lifesteal off. Just the Student actually getting a little bit aggressive in this mid lane, but actually Elise is here as well. This may end up turning into a 2v2 right now. Just the Student is going to back away there, and both the mid lane and the bottom lane looking really aggressive right now.
Yeah, and the bot lane can, because that tower's down, and Duxburg really needs to be careful, because without the defense of this tower, and the fact that he's already on 400 HP means that he needs to be careful.
Massacres are getting absolutely melted in the mid lane right there. Mr. TD managing to flash away at the last second. The repel coming down though. Venomous Bite is available. Cool Kelp going to pick up a kill, but this is looking really bad for him as well. This may end up being 2 kills for Manchester Zero. It is going to be a counter kill coming out there. And that is a 2-for-1 in this mid lane, but now the binding actually landing, but Henna's not going to have enough damage on his own to kill the Student here.
Hennes was trying to get there to get a shield down, but unfortunately just a little bit too slow. Nice counter pick up there by the Elise, but that is still 2 kills for Manchester Zero, and again we see the gold starting to even out. Penguins have still got the lead, but the towers are even. They've got the dragon, and we see the CS still a little bit in favour of Zero, and they're going aggressive on Hennes now actually.
Yeah, it's really, really aggressive play actually. The Ignite goes down onto Druss, but I don't think Hennes has the damage to follow that up. I really don't think the Ignite was necessary.
He burnt his ultimate as well there, Hennes did, so that only landed onto Cho'Gath. I don't know if that was worth it.
I think the ultimate was worth it to stop the guy, but actually Druss Student going down. Massacrism coming in here. Doesn't have his ultimate available, but has a lot of damage regardless, and going to pick up that kill with the Shuriken. That's 2 kills in the mid lane for Massacrism, and they may actually be able to push out this tower. Actually, no, Henna's going to head into the bot lane, so I don't think he's going to be able to push the tower.
Yeah, and I think that's just Manchester Zero did not expect Massacrism to come out nowhere then. Both ults have just been burnt in top lane, so that's going to be a big part of their power that's down for a while. But Shyvana's doing a great job at forcing this Renekton CS into tower. CS is fairly even, and Renekton's picked up his Sunfire cape as well as this Ninja Tabu, where as Shyvana started that Chain Vest, she has since picked up a Giant Spout and the Bilgewater Cutlass, so she has a bit of damage as well. But lately now, because of these kills they're picking up and because of the great rotations from this Elise, Manchester Penguins are starting to have complete control of this map. They've been able to get into Manchester Zero's jungle and just control Dragon and other areas of the map without very much contesting from Zero.
Yeah, and a key thing as well is that Manchester Penguins right now are not looking that strong in team fights. I think if we ended up going into 4v4s and 5v5s right now, I think Zero are looking quite strong. I think I'm saying this the wrong way around. I think Penguins are looking quite strong, not Zero. But we are actually going to see a skirmish coming out here. Both teams are wanting this dragon, but it's actually a 3v4 right now. But actually, Coolkelv has arrived, so we may well see a 4v4 going down for this dragon. Neither team wants to back away from this one, but we have a lot of poke coming out from the Penguins right now. So Seal actually getting caught by a binding and a zap to follow up. Seal really, really low right now. If they can get one more auto attack, Rocket will finish. But just the student able to block out that rocket. It was only a level 10 rocket, so it wouldn't have managed to finish. But Rob Ronnie getting absolutely melted, and that is going to be a dragon for free.
That's Dragon. As soon as that binding landed on Seal, he was took to 300 health and just had to then tank up the damage, and he was knocked to low health. That was pretty much it. They could either just rotate to Dragon or go after some kills. And Masochism going on to Mr. TD here.
Yeah, Mr. TD in a really bad situation. The ace in the hole coming out, actually. Massive damage spike coming back across. But just the student now is going to go down. Dugsbug picking up that kill. And now it looks like they may rotate to this mid lane and try and push out a bit.
I was quite sad that they didn't manage to get that turnaround on the set. A great ult from Sinjo and a great ace in the hole, but now top lane going aggressive.
Yeah, GoFish actually diving in onto Pure Havoc, but he did have his ultimate available. That Dominus just going to make him so tanky, and it's going to mean that he's not going to be able to get that kill.
Yeah, but he is going to be able to recall there. Shyvana's staying around. She wants to still get this kill. She cancelled the recall. In fact, Renekton cancelling the recall as well, so this is going to be a very close fight in top lane if these two go aggressive on each other. But it looks like Shyvana wants to... In fact, no, these guys are both just trolling at the moment. And Elise is going down to Karma.
Yeah, Rob Ronnie in a really bad situation here. If he can get the Venomous Bite, he does manage to get it. That is going to be a kill for Coolkelv. But now Mr. TD is coming in. Pure Havoc is here to get the stun down. Mr. TD going to have the damage to finish that off. Actually, Pure Havoc picking up that kill. Really nice flash there. The Ignite is ticking on GoFish. It's going to be enough. That is another kill. Mr. TD picking that one up. Now Massacrism in a really bad spot. Dugsbug trying to finish off this kill. He does manage to get it. That's another kill coming out. Massacrism nearly managing to get away. The Feral Scream, though, going to stop him there. And now Henna's in a really bad spot. He does have the Black Shield, though, so going to stop that knock-up. And he's going to be able to walk away from that one when the binding comes off cooldown.
Yeah, both the AD carries are sort of just trading with each other, and that led everyone else to just sort of try and run away. There was a really nice binding on the Syndra from the Karma. From the Morgana to root her in place. A lot of damage going on to Seal now, though, but Karma's here to back up.
Oh my god! Dugsbug doing so well there. Flashes over the minions to try and get the zap, but it didn't quite get it. But then, with the Death Rocket, along with an auto attack, able to pick up a double kill now. Just the student trying to chase this. But with the Get Excited, he's going to be able to just run away from that one with ease.
Munch, that Get Excited is so OP right there. Like, he just got away from 3 potential deaths because of that passive. So much damage coming from Dugsbug, and that was so great. He just picked up in the last 5 minutes about 4 kills. He's gone from sitting 1-0 to 7-0 in the last 10 minutes. He's got his Bloodthirster and Zeal, which he's already had for a while. He's sitting on almost 3k gold right now. That is going to be huge when he goes back and buys, which he has just done. He's picked up a Phantom Dancer and his Berserker Greaves. 22-minute Berserker Greaves on that, Jinx.
Yeah, quite a late item, but obviously with his Get Excited passive, and when you're picking up that many kills, you don't even need boots. So able to just abuse that passive. And because that Jinx is so fed now, they're at the point where it doesn't necessarily matter too much that he doesn't have an escape. So long as his team can peel him, they're going to be in skirmishes most of the time, so he should be able to survive those. Syndra going to have a hard time getting to that backline to kill the Jinx, unlike a Zed would. So actually, he's looking in a really good position to start skirmishing right now. Yeah,
everywhere else is fairly even-ish, but there's almost 3k gold difference alone in this bot lane, and there's only just over 5k difference in this team, so the AD carries is really the huge difference here, and Zero really need to get a kill on Jinx if they want to have any hope of winning a 5v5. If they can shut down Jinx and kill her before she does loads of damage, then they can still win team fights. However, if they don't, then they're gonna struggle, and it's like you said earlier, it's all fine saying, to shut down the Jinx and that, but what CC do they have? They have the knockup from Cho'Gath. In fact, they're going on to Karma here.
Really nice death mark there coming out from Massacrism. It's not going to be enough for Rob Ronnie, and he's going to go down there. The binding not actually quite able to land, but if he'd got that would have been max range over the Wraith, so really good try. But they are going to be able to push out against this mid lane. And I really don't think there's much that Manchester Zero can do about this. Duxbug is going to absolutely chunk this tower, and Trusted Student actually getting caught by a binding. The Flame Chomper's going down as well. The damage coming out from Jinx. He does have the ultimate available. It's not quite going to land though. The stun actually coming across onto Duxbug. Duxbug taking a chunk of damage. Ace in the hole going to go down. Massacrism going to block that one. Trusted Student trying to follow this up, but he does overextend. Gets caught. Henna's now using the ultimate. Doesn't have Zonya's. He is going to go down. Mr. TD picking up that kill, but now Mr. TD may well go down. The crit doesn't come out from Jinx though. So not going to be able to trade that one. Cool Kelv gets so low. Now Seal really low. Duxbug able to snipe that one out with a rocket, and that is a 2-for-1 in the end.
Duxbug has done pure work this game. He has done so good at just picking off kills from far away, whether it's a zap over the jungle wall, whether it's a quick switch to rocket on a minion just to get the last hit, which he did there, whether it's his ultimate from far away. He's been so good at getting the kills. Shyvana and Nets on Joling get out at top. It doesn't look like either are going to get the kill there, but you have to give a big hand to Duxbug here. And now Massacrism going on to the Robber again.
Oh my god, the damage coming out from Massacrism, and then he's able to just jump straight back to his Living Shadow that he used from his ultimate, and that is just so much damage coming out from him right now.
Yeah, this is starting to look really scary for Zero now. They're getting to a point where it's still around 5.5k gold difference, but this Dragon's up in 30 seconds. This top turret's about to fall for Penguins. That extends their gold lead even more. Zero, if they keep letting this happen now, it's going to get further and further away from them. They need to do something right now. They need to start catching people or getting those 5v5, but they've got caught now.
Yeah, Mr. TD is going to get absolutely melted. Duxbug picking up yet another kill. He has the enemy blue buff as well, so he's going to be able to just spam out zaps. And every time he gets a zap, he's going to be able to get a couple of auto attacks down. And if he crits with those auto attacks, that is just going to be so much damage. If he can get a zap, 2 auto attacks and an ultimate down, that is going to be a squishy dead.
Yeah, we're just talking about how they need to make sure they can catch someone or do things, and then they get caught. That is an even more free Dragon for Penguins, like Zero couldn't contest anyway. And that's just going to put them even further ahead. Zero are just making too many mistakes at this point of the game, where Manchester Penguins are just capitalising on them, getting further and further ahead. And with these mistakes they're making, they're sort of basically making it harder for themselves.
The zap coming in though, Seal getting really low. He's able to get away from that one, but now Pure Havoc getting bound in the front of the team, tanking up so much damage. That is their tank, getting absolutely melted. Massacrism using that death mark to manage to survive a little bit longer. It's not going to be enough though. Rob Ronnie getting caught by the binding. Manchester Zero fighting really well in this team fight, but Duxbug getting shielded like crazy there, and he's able to survive, picking up 1 kill, and now is where the recess comes in. Seal flashing forwards for the kill though, and now Go Fish trying to do what he can. So many flashing health bars, but it's not going to be enough. Seal actually going to go down to the ignite, and that is going to be a 3-for-2 in favour of Penguins, but only just.
Yeah, that was quite nice play from Manchester Zero there. They had the whole of that fight under the tower, so that tower was doing work for them. Really nice flash from Seal to outplay Duxbug. Duxbug was trying to zone him off, but Seal flash barriered in order to get that last hit and just not reacting fast enough on Duxbug's behalf. He didn't have his summoners off, so really nice pickup. However, Manchester Penguins did still come out on top there, and I wanted to cheer for Seal at the end and hope he could dupe the Shyvana, but it didn't happen, unfortunately.
Yeah, that was such a close team fight. I really want to shout out Manchester Zero in that team fight. They played so well. They played near perfectly in that team fight, and they needed to. Pure Havoc did get caught at the front, but when you're the tanky Renekton, you kind of have to be out at the front taking all that damage, stopping your team taking the damage. So there wasn't really much else he could do other than be in that position. So, and to say they traded 3-for-2 with the gold difference, they couldn't have really hoped for much more unless they got a pick off.
Yeah, but as I said, that tower was there, but also the fact that Pure Havoc got caught, that actually made the focus go onto him, while Mr. TD and Seal actually put a load of damage down onto Massacrism and Duxbug, so it actually worked out well, and now they've got really nice rotation to pick off Shyvana.
Yeah, Go Fish in a really bad situation, does use the ultimate, but now Seal getting caught out in the mid lane. Go Fish maybe going to be able to get away from this one as well. Obviously that ultimate, give him, actually he's going to the wrong side of the map though, so I take it back, he's not going to be able to get away. Mr. TD going to pick up that kill. That is a 1-for-1, but I feel like it's definitely in favour of Manchester Penguins right now.
Oh yeah, 100%. And with that last whisper just picked up from Zed, you saw how fast he melts Seal now. He's got his Blade of Ruin King, he's got the last whisper and Brutalizer, and now they're looking for a fight again.
Yeah, Pure Havoc taking so much damage. Dominus does go down, actually managing to get over the wall, but at least going to chase that one up with the Super Mega Death Rocket coming out from Duxbug. The crit not actually coming down. Mr. TD gonna be able to survive that Ignite just. But now Rob Ronnie getting caught by the binding. Cool Kelp is going to be there with the Venomous Bite to finish that one off. And now Seal trying to do what he can. Duxbug actually tanking 2 towers there. Does manage to get the kill, but the Ace in the Hole coming down. Henna's going to block that one. This might actually be the end of the game if they can dodge enough stuff and just keep on pushing. They may be able to end the game. Duxbug doing so much damage. Mr. TD getting caught by a binding. He is going to go down. Actually, Zonya's against the Zap, but the Flame Chomper's going to stop him getting out of that Zonya's. Now the Cocoon lands, and if they want to, they can end the game right now. I don't know if they're going to go for it. It looks like they may rotate down to the bot lane or head up to this top lane. They are going to back away though.
It was quite a nice play from the Syndra. She picked up a kill and she tried to get a nice AoE damage down to try and get some more kills there, but unfortunately they did end up falling. Shyvana's had to go back to push out this bot lane, so they couldn't go for the win there, especially when Masochism got killed, but they are still in complete control. They're sitting 12k gold ahead right now, Munch. They've got the extra towers. The CS is suddenly all in favour of Penguins. They've got the big gold advantages. Everyone's picking up really big items now. Shyvana's got the Blade of the Rune King and a Randuin's. Elise just finished a Randuin's as well as a Negatron crate. Zed's just finished his Black Cleaver. Ginks has got the last whisper now. Like, Penguins are just getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and Zero just falling further behind. Like, I don't really know what they could do now, to be honest, to keep in this.
No, I think they need to just hide in their base right now, but the thing is, if they do that, they're going to fall even further behind, because that's just going to give Penguins the Baron. So, right now, they need a miracle. They need a Baron steal. I don't know, they need a Baron steal ace, pretty much, right now, to get back in this game. And I can't think of a situation how that's going to happen.
Well, we can pretend. Let's say Baron takes them low enough to... Actually,
don't really have time right now, though, because Rob Ronnie's getting aggressed upon by Massacrism, and now Pure Havoc actually in quite a bad situation. Henna's throwing out the binding, not quite able to land it, but the Deathmark going down anyway onto Pure Havoc. He's going to use the Dominus. I don't know if it's going to be enough. The Deathmark does pop. It's not enough damage, but Rob Ronnie, so low. Now Go Fish coming in this top, from the top lane, sorry. Pure Havoc is going to go down. Now, Rob Ronnie's still able to survive this, the ultimate coming across the map from Jinx, but unfortunately Pure Havoc had already died. Seal getting aggressed upon by Go Fish, but it's not going to be enough. Just a student now in a 2v1 situation. Karma trying to do what he can, but he can't get into this fight because he's in a really bad situation. He's behind the enemy team. Mr. TD getting caught by that binding, getting absolutely chunked. Now Jinx is still not in this fight, but they're winning the fight even without Jinx. Actually, Mr. TD doing so much damage, but now Jinx has arrived. Duxbug gonna start cleaning up this fight. The Get Excited does come in, flashing for that. Oh my goodness, he gets the Zonyas at the last second, manages to survive. Duxbug taking so much damage. Seal actually picking up that kill. Actually, no, it was Karma that picked up the kill, but Seal doing so much damage with that headshot crit. And Massacrism doing what he can. He manages actually to pick up a kill onto Karma, but now this is going to be a bottom lane tower and an inhibitor.
Yeah, that should have been game over if they didn't overextend there, but to be honest, Zero might have a chance of holding it. However, the burst damage from Massacrism is huge.
Really nice play by Massacrism. The second he used Deathmark though, Caitlyn netted and flashed while he was in his animation. So after using all of her escapes, he was still next to her. So there was not really any way he was going to survive that one, and then Massacrism was able to just jump back to his Living Shadow again. But this may well be game right now.
Yeah, and I feel that this has come down to two things. First of all, the big differences in bot lane, but I feel that was because of the junglers. And Massacrism's going to get...
Actually get burst here. The Ignite is going to be enough to finish him, but Cho'Gath going to go down as well. Pure Havoc trying to escape from this one. I don't know if he's going to be able to get away. Yeah, he can get away. And Mr. TD doing so much damage back down onto Elise there. Go Fish. Going to have to run away with his tail between his legs there. And
Penguins.
Manchester Zero really like clinging on here.
Oh, yeah, Penguins a little bit too ballsy there. They just stayed and basically like 2v3'd when they were at half health or less. Not too. I think they just know how far ahead, and it looks like Zero is just going to try and push this lane and try and pick up some more kills. But I feel this has come down to, if we look at the AD carries first of all, Jinx is 13-2, Caitlyn's 1-7. That's a massive difference. But look at Cho'Gath and Elise. I feel Elise has done so much more work than Cho'Gath in helping the lanes. But also, if we look at this Cho'Gath build, he just had an Ancient Golem and a Frozen Heart. I don't know if I'd agree with the Frozen Heart being picked up straight away so fast. There's a big trade going on.
Getting absolutely chunked in the mid lane, but he's able to just auto-attack through that Ace in the Hole. I really don't think the Ace in the Hole was a good decision there. He should have just kept auto-attacking. But Duxburg going to be able to just life-steal any of that health that he just lost. Able to dodge that Rupture, and now it's a 4v5 in favour of Penguins with an inhibitor already down. This is looking really bad.
It's their AD carry who's down too. So this is starting to look like the curtains are closing on Manchester Zero's stage right here. This is only the first game. This is a best of 3, guys. So they are by no means out at the moment. But a really nice play from Penguins. It was fairly even up until about the 15-minute mark when Penguins kept going ahead. But so much damage
getting destroyed there.
Wow.
His positioning was terrible. I wanted to say it, but he was there on his own against 2 people. If Renekton had just jumped forward, I mean, they didn't know that the rest of the team wasn't there, but if Renekton had just jumped forward, he could have killed him straight away, but then does get caught. Just the student, sorry, actually getting chunked down. The death mark does go off, but it's not quite enough. Don't know if he's going to be able to finish him off. Does use the Living Shadow, but he's going to go down anyway. Massacrism's GA is going to be popped now. Go Fish, jumping onto Mr. TD. Massacrism's GA has finished now. He's so low. Is he going to be able to get away? No, he's not. He does go down. Mr. TD does go down to Ignite. That ticks away. Rob Ronnie now getting caught by binding from Henners. That is going to be a 3 for 3.
Yeah, an extended 3 for 3. So that Jinx was picked off first, and then even with the deficit, Penguins did get 3-2 then. So in the straight up fight, Penguins were ahead there. But really nice play from Zero, and they are still, as you said, they're fighting tooth and nail to try and stay in this. But Go Fish and Henners now are trying to catch someone in mid.
Yeah, and they've actually caught Henners right now. Pure Havoc doing so much damage, but actually Seal getting aggressed upon by Go Fish here. And I don't know if they have enough damage to kill Seal right now. Pure Havoc using that Dominus, and he's just so tanky right now. Go Fish getting chunked by this Caitlyn.
Here comes the Super Mega Death Rocket.
The Super Mega Death Rocket does come in, picks up Havoc there, and actually this is really bad for Penguins. I mean for Zero, sorry. And this is going to be an inhibitor possibly going down in this mid lane. However, Penguins team is just so split up here that when they do get these small advantages, they're not together enough to capitalise on them.
Yeah, I'm still just getting over that Super Mega Death Rocket. That was pretty cool to be able to watch. But again, that's still Manchester Penguins coming out slowly but surely in these games. It does look like Manchester Zero do have a little gate here to try and push Henners and Go Fish.
Yeah, Henners does actually get taken down there. The Ace in the Hole did go out, but it wasn't going to be able to land. And the bind actually coming out from Rob Ronnie is able to get that. The slow as well, followed by the Rupture. Go Fish taking so much CC, but he is so tanky. But in the meantime, Penguins able to just pick up the Baron there. And the gold lead is huge right now. 15,000, sorry. Go Fish actually getting caught out here. Mr. CD using his ultimate, but he's able to get the ultimate away from that one. Deathmark coming down onto Just the Student, taking so much damage right now. He is going to go down. Massacrism getting chunked as well, but Mr. TD going to go down. Both carry so low for Penguins, but they're going to be able to survive that fight. And now they have 4 people up for Penguins. They may actually finally be able to push this out.
Yeah, this will definitely be game, I feel now. They've got the Baron, they've got the regen, there's a 40-second timer for anyone else on Zero to spawn. They're going to just take this inhib and then push straight to the Nexus. And again, I feel this comes down to the Elise in the bot lane. Elise did a really great job. She's got 17 assists. She helped so much with that bot lane. Zero, because they were being so aggressive, they had no wards. They died so many times they didn't have to. Because they were overextended and didn't have the vision. And Elise, even in the other lanes, was doing so much. Whereas Cho'Gath was farming. He's still ahead on farm, but he didn't have as much as an impact on the game. Really nice play from Penguins.
Yeah, Massacrism going in onto Seal there, but he's not going to be able to quite chase that one up. The Mega Death Rocket does come out, actually having to flash away there. Just the Student doing what he can, but he's just going to get chunked by Dux. But one of the towers has gone down. Caitlyn not quite going to go down. Does go down eventually, though. And now this is such a messy fight with Mr. TD doing what damage he can, but he's not quite able to pick anyone up. So many flashing health bars right now for the Penguins, but nobody actually going down. Cool Kel having to flash away. Go Fish getting stunned here. He's not going to be able to get him though. Another flash coming out, and now Pure Havoc getting caught by binding. And Duxbug just doing so much damage. The Flame Choppers come down, and now that's a